You are now dialed into the Street Reports podcast. All material on this program is not to be taken as investment advice and is for informational purposes only. The Street Reports podcast interviews exciting growth companies trading on the public markets and features their latest news, developments, and updates. I'm your host, Nick Ocello. On today's show, we have Regenx Tech Corp, and joining me is Greg Pendura, the CEO. Enjoy. Please welcome to the show Regenx Tech Corporation. This environmentally responsible metal extraction company is currently working on palladium and platinum extractions through its technology. These two metals are very important, and joining me today is Greg Pendura, the CEO. Greg, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, Nick. Pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, and how'd I do in the intro? What would you like first-time listeners to know more in depth about your company?
Well, you give a good general format there for sure, Nick. But primarily, we're a metal processing company. What we're focusing in on right now is the ability to extract platinum and palladium from diesel catalytic converters, and there's a reason why we picked diesel, and we'll get into that a little later. But we do this in a environmentally friendly component, and we will be the only company globally that will be able to recover platinum and palladium in a environmentally friendly manner.
No, that's fantastic. I could go a number of different options based off of that answer, but the first one you said platinum and palladium bought from catalytic converters. Now, how did that come to be? Is that metal just prevalent in those converters?
There's a lot of those metals in both gasoline and diesel catalytic converters, and the reason why we focused on diesel is simply because we have a business partner in Tennessee, and Davis Recycling, and they've been in the automotive recycling business for 25 plus years. And they are the supply chain management expertise of this whole project that we're involved in. And they approached us a few years back and just said, because we were processing metals in other areas, and they said if we could do this in diesel catalytic converters within the next few years, there's going to be an enormous market. And they hit it right on the head. And they're absolutely correct, because the only commercially viable way of extracting precious metals from catalytic converters commercially is through smelters. And smelters have, they're maxed out. They're busy, and on top of that, they've got issues with carbon emissions, and they're maxed out on the carbon side. So there was a huge opening for us, because the newer diesel catalytic converters have a lot of silicon carbide in them. And this is something smelters don't want to play with. It just creates issues in their whole system. So we have this enormous amount of inventory hanging around the marketplace with no home. So we were very excited to be able to be the front runners in this business.
And out of curiosity, why was there such an uptick in, you said that supply chain company based in Tennessee, your partner nailed it on the head. What were the market factors driving this new uptake in available converters that you're now extracting precious metals from?
Sure. In the old days, I'll call the old days, like 5 years before, the large recyclers in the U.S. and globally as well, what they were doing is they were mixing or blending diesel catalytic converters with the gasoline catalytic converters, and smelters were accepting them. But it got to the point, though, just not that long ago, where smelters finally said, look, no more of that. There's going to be strict penalties if you do this, and we may not even accept your particular product. So that left a big void in the marketplace on where are all these diesel catalytic converters going to go. So hence we call it low-hanging fruit, because if you have a solution which can delve into that problem, I mean, you've got a huge business opportunity. Just to give you the size of the market, in 2017, there was approximately $25 billion worth of diesel catalytic converters available. By 2025, it's going to go to $40 billion.
Wow.
There's a tremendous market here, and people have no idea the the breadth of this market, which is going to be available to us.
Well, I assure you they don't, because that's news to me. I was going to ask. I have in my notes here, how big is the addressable market? Going from 25 to 40 billion is is an incredibly sizable jump. And how unique is your process? Did you just have the correct smelting and the correct technology to do this in an environmentally friendly way, or is this something that you have been preparing for since your logistics company, your partner in Tennessee, identified this?
Yeah, our technology is on the chemical side. We're not involved in smelting or furnaces whatsoever. So
Okay.
we have a chemical solution to extract the platinum, the palladium from spent diesel catalytic converters.
Okay. And borderline dumb question, because you said that you're the only company that's doing this, but how unique is that? And how many other companies would you say that you're directly competing against?
Well, to the best of our knowledge, and we're fairly attuned into this marketplace, there is no chemical processing going underway at the present time. So what we have is a unique proprietary technology on how to do this. And but as I said, the only viable solution up until now was the smelting route, and and we won't get into the environmental hazards there, because enough was said about that. But to have a environmentally friendly solution, especially on the U.S. side, where you can extract platinum and palladium in a green technology, is huge. I mean, the major suppliers of platinum and palladium, one, South Africa, and they're having huge geopolitical problems at the present time, and the other major supplier is Russia, and they've got bigger problems right now. So there is going to be a supply crunch in the future. So the ability to acquire these products through a urban mining process or a recycling process is really significant.
That's awesome to hear. It sounds like you've positioned yourself fantastically in a market that's going to be exploding soon. And as we are on the verge of year end, what recent headlines for Regenx have you most excited heading into 2023?
Well, we're really excited about we're going into our first commercial plant build. We have our design is a modular concept. We are building our module one, and that's underway as we speak right now. And in the first quarter of 2023, it will be up and running. And by the second quarter of 2023, it will be in full commercial production. And the numbers on a plant are very significant. A 4-module facility, which will be a complete facility, will generate in excess of 100 million annually dollars. And it's a very attractive business, and we're excited for our shareholders. And I believe new shareholders, this is a huge chance to take a look at it, follow us, and make some significant upside on your investment.
That's fantastic to hear. The final question that I'll leave off with is I want to hear a little background on yourself. I think you've laid out your company beautifully, but how did you become the CEO of this?
I've been involved in the public markets for 35, 40 years at the senior management level. And I got involved in this particular company about 12, 13 years ago, when the roots were a junior mining company, exploration mining company. And I got involved there to prove up that concept of that particular project, and it was in Spain at that time. We sold one of the assets and acquired the funds to go down the technology side, which eventually got us into processing precious metals out of spent catalytic converters.
That's fantastic. And I'll just give you the floor. Are there any final things that I might have missed that you want listeners to hear about?
Well, no, I think it's best. I'd like just to say for your viewership here to be able to put us on your radar screens. You want to follow us because this is not a 3-5 year out story. We're talking about a couple of quarters in 2023. So I believe that once we prove the concept on our modular one capabilities, we're going to get significant media exposure, and we're going to become a widely known stock very, very quickly.
Awesome. Well, Greg, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And let me tell you this, I'm excited to follow up and get you on for some episodes in the near future because it sounds like you're on the verge of some really, really exciting developments.
We are, and looking forward to talking to you again in the new year.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.